Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Transport Fever.
2.
I have ran time forward a little bit to make a little bit of money. We are on the verge of reaching 10 million. Once ship 2 here reaches port, we'll probably bump it right over into 10 million. I've done a little bit of development, a little bit of beautifying of some areas, a little bit of like modded stuff, adding some like oil derricks just to like liven the place up. But not too much has changed. There's let's call it 2 major things, and kind of hint at it here if you noticed it. 2 major things to help get the money rolling along faster. I took 1 ship off of the Port Andrew to Santon line, and yeah, that actually cut costs. Like the line basically doubled how much money it was making by taking that ship off, because that one is almost always running empty. But now these are usually always running about half full, and every once in a while the trucks from the away lines will arrive and they'll be pretty much completely full. So that's leaving with 43. So that's going to be about $120,000. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, I've done a little bit of rail development. The biggest piece of rail development is the Green Valley to Junction City line. It's just a little track. Previously the station was in here and came up here, and I realized for the future that is horribly unintelligent, so I moved the station over here. Plenty of space to make the station. My assumption, you mark my word, this station is going to be maybe about 8 tracks. 8 tracks is going to be out here, and the tunnel is going to actually enter here. It's going to get moved. But yeah, I have a feeling this is going to be roughly 8 tracks sometime in the future, being both basically the passenger and freight station, which we have this here. Plenty of room to bulldoze houses and extend this backwards, passengers, freight. But that's not now, that's the future. I'm going to try to stop planning so far ahead. Right now, ahead of us, we have the quarries. I'm going to take the quarries out here. I measured it from about here to here will be about $500,000. Previously, what I was going to have happen is train line. That's $1 million, and that is steep, if you see there. Yeah, it's pretty steep. I didn't really want that steepness, so what I had happen here is I was going to hug the coast and loop in pretty much exactly where the road changes here, and then have a tunnel that enters here, and then basically one that diverges off that way, and then one that enters here and does like a helix up to the passenger station. And then for the first time, I think ever, I had the moment of clarity where I was like, that is woefully inefficient and shockingly stupid. So I did the 1000 IQ move of backing the road up a tiny bit and then just taking the tracks over earlier. And now instead of this being at a very steep incline all the way over there, this is at about the intermediate incline. It gets a little steeper towards the end, but now it will snake nicely in up here. I can have the track go off into the station, which I'm planning to be in here. And have the track nicely split off in through here. That last one was $1 million. It was going to be incredibly steep. It was going to be terribly inefficient. Light downward, pretty much flat. Like, it's not perfect, but 800,000. I have seen a few angles to where I can get this down to 600,000, but I don't think I'm going to actually try that hard. And then, yeah, so we have that came out here. In the story of this, in reality, I just had, a spare 2 million, so I developed this area for basically the bridge to connect out that way off to Junction City, and then the track over there. I'm gonna say that this was basically the Corbin Construction Materials Plant and the quarries and Port Andrews lobbying together to get a bridge built for the railroad company to go, okay, I see what you got going on there. Let's get you some bricks. But so yeah, a little bit of story, and it hugs the terrain nicely. It's pretty much flat. Like, I'm pretty sure this is all pretty much perfectly flat. This is gonna go out in here and meet together. I have decided that I'm not gonna, at least for any time soon, run a passenger train to Port Andrew. It's only gonna be freight trains into Port Andrew. Santon, if you want to get from Junction City or anywhere else really by train, you have to get to Santon, then take a boat over here. Just because I want to use boats as much as I can, because I usually don't use boats. I want to see and use them a bit more. Because, I mean, it's nice to use the boats. Like, look at that. This is going to be a lot of money when it arrives. And boats are pretty inexpensive, because for a train, this is going to be about That's going to be about $1 million, not including the trains or the stations. Other than the stupidity you saw in the last episode, boats are incredibly cheap. So for the foreseeable future, I'm gonna have it be boats. And then eventually, I'm gonna put an airport probably up here and have boats go to the airport, and then basically shoot across the map, and basically quick, fast connection either Lake Verde or Barlow. Fun fact: Barlow is named after a type of telescope lens, not the real city. Just I decided name that one after the telescope lens because I don't know, I just like the name, and also I like the lenses. So we have a solid 10 million. I did some like test building, and by test building, that's just where you take down this and just go 31k, 51k, 100k, and basically just do that to measure out what if you were going to be very like just aggressive and sharp with that. I mean, look at this. This is the definition of a dumb idea, and that's 300k. So basically, it's going to give us a high ballpark of what we're going to be expecting cost-wise. And high cost-wise, my ballpark is about 8 million, including building stations, not including trains, because again, trains are freaking expensive. It's going to be about 8 million for the infrastructure. So we have 10 million. I don't want to take out loans during this. I want this to be all out of my pocket, and then once it's done, all profit, none of it going back to the bank. I do have 10 million to take out as a loan. So, we always have that as a backup, but for now, I'm going to try to keep this all, debt-free. So, I'm going to see if I can actually set these up right, and I can just plonk a station in the middle of all of them and have access to them. Okay, I didn't realize that the terrain was doing such janky stuff. So now what I'm gonna have to do is build a road. Except they're all connected. They have those like connection roads, so it might work, but I'm not gonna risk it. I don't want to risk it for that biscuit because that biscuit didn't have much of a reward. Also, this grass, I didn't put all of it in. For some reason, whenever you place something in a certain way, it decides to put grass on this side. So, it would plonk a whole bunch of grass here, plonked a whole bunch of grass here, and plonked a whole bunch of grass here. So I just smoothed it out so it didn't look like it was just blasting grass in for absolutely no reason, because it looked kind of gross. Okay, you. Now what about you? Now what about you? I could probably do this. If only we had wider lanes. Now what if I were to train station? Honestly, I only need one track. What is the terrain doing? Okay, let's see what the terrain's doing, because there is something weird happening. And I'm fumbling with the UI. Okay, so there's a hole. Technically, these are below water level, apparently. Yeah, it's a couple feet below water level. That's interesting. Now, what if I were... Also, I figured out something weird in the controls. There were apparently alternate build options with O and P. I want to see what they do. Yeah, apparently O and P have alternate build options, but I have not seen anything affected by O and P yet. That station is way more expensive than I wanted it to be. Honestly, though, I could build a side entrance, because if I were to build a side entrance, I could, I think I've said it a couple times already now, but I really freaking like the music in this game. It's just good. I just like it. makes me happy. That's the platform side, right? I can use this alternate on-ramp, right? I think I theoretically can, but it has to be close. Okay. Let's cross our fingers that this works, because that's $500,000. I do not want to lose. Ouch. Configure. I am worried. Okay, everything is good in the neighborhood. Now, I think we're gonna have to do a tiny road. Okay, you start there. Configure station buildings. What if I were to purchase fast food? This guy's gonna bigger station building. Now, I could probably, I think I might be a genius. Oh. That road is just almost clipping with the track. I'm gonna give it a little bit of leeway. Oh. Oh my gosh, I think I am just a couple inches off. Okay, this building could work though. Okay, no, it'd have to be this one. Okay, this one. This is a lot more difficult than I was expecting it to be. I thought this was going to be an absolute cakewalk. Okay, configure cargo buildings. Okay. Cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. Yes. That is connectivity right there. You know what? Just for style, just completely 100% for style points. Oh, it's just slightly too big. I was gonna say, let's add a couple like of these, like if they were for storage, but it's a little bit too long. Well, that's a bummer. I would say they're like warehouses for storage. Wonder if that actually works, if they function like warehouses. Do you function like a warehouse, sir? Yeah, we're gonna ignore you, Mr. Santon. Target is Corbin, so let's first make it to the bridge. Okay, so that's all finished. This part, I came into a bit more terrain than I expected, so I added a bit of a wiggle to lower the amount of incline that I had to go through. Yeah, went through the tunnel just about as well as I expected. Met up here quite easily. Over here, extending it out was fine, and I reached chaos here. I was like, that's too steep, that's too steep, that's too steep, and I was like, oh, well, what if I were to hug around here? And I thought it'd come out a lot higher, but I mean, coming out this way, I mean, it's almost perfectly flat, super minor incline right here. It gets a little steep there, and then, you know, just tunnel around, which this is going to look awesome with multiple trains going along it. Though I will, I'm gonna see if I can make this look a little bit better. Let's see if I can bump this out a little bit. Yeah, no, I think that's like... Oh, that's perfect. Let's bump that up to 100%. There we go, that looks a little bit less terrifying and nerve-wracking. No, it's just, do that. Bump that strength way down. Let's remove the lumpage. I just don't like how, like, the track... I really wish, like, the track model, its, like, ballast, like, went deeper. I mean, it's fine when it's, like, here, but occasionally you will see the shadow, which really bothers me. Which, honestly, I might just take terrain height from up track and then just scooch it down. There we go. That looks wonderful. This is going to be absolutely breathtaking once we have multiple trains coming down it. And I can't wait to get trains rolling down this canyon. It's just gonna be screenshot heaven. I mean, like, can you just look at that? Look at it. It's just gonna be screenshot heaven. It's just gonna be wonderful. So that part I've fast forwarded through just because there was a lot of trial and error, building, deleting, fighting terrain tooth and nail. Probably just be more fun to get it over with. This is gonna be nice and easy because it's like pretty much flat. I'm probably gonna cross over here, but I might stay on the green. I might cut to the side of the green. I'm not too sure. But yeah, here I'm gonna take the track. I was gonna have this all single track, but I was like, nah, let's have it double tracked just to be safe. Because in the future, I'm gonna have passenger trains running out of Corbin, and you know, it's just gonna be a lot better to have it just be its own tracks, just stay out of its own way. That way we can, you know, two-train this, and not have them get in each other's way. Basically, future-proofing traffic. And also on top of that, it wasn't all too expensive, because it wasn't much double tracking. What I don't want to double track is, like, you know, massive lengths of stuff to, like, there, or, like, you know, massive things, like, through here. This length of double tracking on almost flat ground, not that expensive. I'm not against it. I mean, yeah, there's like that much tunneling, but I mean, it's not bad. So yeah, now I'm just gonna basically think of it as putting like a target. You put down the station, that's your target, and then you shoot for it. We're gonna have, let's see, we have those going out, those coming in. So let's 3-tracker. Should I 3-track it that way? What side are you coming on? Let's 2-track it and plop a track in when we need it. Really, really, really am kind of bummed that curved stations weren't an option in the transfer from Transport Fever 1 to Transport Fever 2. Can I line it up perfectly? If all else fails, I can do some road chicanery. Perfect. Sorry, I had to cough there. Don't want to blow your ears out. Could I fit you in there? Could I fit you in anywhere? No. Could I fit 2 of you in? Wunderbar. Connection. Connection. Now I'm just going to preemptively get a truck stop in there. I mean, it looks incredibly stupid, but I mean, it works. It only cost 100,000. And plenty of room to develop this out as long as I need to. If all else fails, I can add another connection, have it, like, go in a loop. So, we have our train station target. We have our deer. I'm gonna name him Tom. Don't know why. Just feels like a Tom to me. We have our target. We have our weird line that spawns every once in a while for some reason. This should be... It's not perfectly flat. I thought I made it perfectly flat. Fascinating. Well, this is going to basically function like a rail yard eventually, so I'm going to want this to be flat anyways, so screw you. Here's the trick. Whatever you're doing, build it one farther than you want to, and then back it up by one. That's how you get things to be nice and smooth. Yeah, don't snap. I don't want you to snap. This area though, it should be almost perfectly flat. And if it's not, I don't care. It's gonna be close to flat. Okay, we're gonna have to tighten this curve up a little bit. Stop snapping to the road. No one likes it when you snap to the road. Well, it's like you're asking for a railroad crossing to be right here. Yeah, good thing I have it paused. See, now I refer to the station as the target, but whenever I say that, I usually always actually start from the station. What if I were to bump it down perfectly flat? You're fine. Now what if I were to just do it a little bit spicier? .58, wonderful speed. That's a wonderful speed, especially with high-speed track. That's going to get into the hundreds. Okay, Mr. Train. What do you think about that? I mean, that turn's terrible, but yeah, I'm gonna try to keep it at roughly the same speed. 35. Beautifulness. Gentle, gentle. Did you do the thing? You did the thing. I hate this thing. Weird. It's like light sand, dark sand, light sand, dark sand, light sand, dark sand. I mean, I'm not complaining. I kind of like the dark sand. See, I'm fine with the... You're on thin ice, buddy. See, so with the tree, I'm really annoyed because, like, the rocks, like, the bushes and stuff I'm kind of fine with, but the rocks, when they spawn up here, like, they just don't look good. So what I usually do is I take just the asset eraser tool and just go erase the whole cliff. Otherwise, that's where you get, let's see if I can find any examples of it. You get rocks that look like crap, and then you get trees that spawn in doing something funky. I can't find any. I don't know, I don't want to waste too much time. But yeah, you'll have trees that will spawn in. I might be able to see it here. You have trees that spawn in here, and like they're like tree ground asset, like, or the tree ground texture just like spills down the mountain. It makes the mountain look like it's just rotten, and I don't like it. So I'll just take the like asset eraser and just wipe off a mountain's face. Get rid of all the ugly-looking assets. This Transport Fever 2 needs a Clean Cliffs mod. Transport Fever 1 had the most beautiful thing called the Clean Cliffs mod. Transport Fever 2 needs the same treatment. Are you going to connect beautifully? It's not what I asked. Are you going to connect beautifully, not terrible and ugly? That could be interesting. I'm really happy that early game America gets American crossings. Instead of, you know, those like British or Canadian looking X's, ours actually, you know, say road crossings. Wonderful. I'm pretty sure that the track is all complete. Now, where do you do interesting stuff? You do interesting stuff right there. So it's that sleeper, or tie if you refer to it as that. Construction is not possible. I don't think you understand what you... Yeah. 33, 34... Dang it. I want it to look, like, really snazzy. There we go. Y1. Now, if I had it set to trains do not turn around, I theoretically could have a train back up onto here and then proceed forward to turn itself around, but screw that and screw you. That's too much work. I barely got this going. But if you would notice, we started this out with 10 million. We have spent 4 for all of this. Now, previously, I had to take out maybe like $6 million worth of loans to do this. We did this in about $4 million. Little under. So, yeah. But that was also buying trains, upgrading, or not upgrading, but replacing old worn-out ships, so. The trains, though, on the other hand, the trains are probably going to be about $2 million a piece. $2 million for this one, $2 million for this one. And I am not looking forward to that. No, I want unload stop. Coughing fit? Now, where should I put this to get the best, like, drop-off coverage? I really, really don't want to impede this traffic. Could I do... Oh, baby, a triple. Maybe I have a... Wait, no, let's say it's about that many fingers length there, so... I could have a road that just, like, shoots straight to there that catches up the catchment for that. But yeah, if I have this here, these trucks are going to turn, like, this way. They will never interact with each other traffic-wise. If I put it on this curve. Okay, now, I just have to cross my fingers that these idiots don't build out this way farther. No crossing fingers. I'll just make it to where these idiots don't build out farther that way. But they are, if I remember right, completely free to go this way. To do stuff in this area. And I am totally alright with that. Okay. Trucks. I might do the covered wagon, because I've never actually seen it before. I think this is new for, Transport Fever 2, because I'm pretty sure it went from that to that. And I mean, it's only a difference of it's 1 mile an hour and 1 cargo, but, you know, this one carries slightly more. You don't carry goods. You do carry goods. So you will be good. So you're going to be for, like, transporting how do you transport fuel? Other than fuel and... I can't transport food, so I will have to do this. Let's buy 3. And put down in the comments what you'd like to paint them or name them. Also, update. Previously in Transport Fever, if you hit replace all vehicles, click this. Every once in a while, when you hit replace all vehicles, it would just delete all vehicles. And it would basically just waste your money, because then you have to rebuy the vehicles. It sucked. But they recently put a patch out where you can replace these without being horrified that you're just going to waste money and, you know, lose your soul or something. Nope. And nope. Beautiful. Dogwood Street. I used to live near a Dogwood Street. I think it was Dogwood Court. I can't remember. Yes, that cactus is supplying all the food. Are these assets, or these actually spawned in with this? Oh, these are actually, like, assets that come with this. Interesting. If these lights weren't here, these would be beautiful buildings. Also, the reflection, if you notice, the reflections are a bit janky. Like, you know, it's a pretty much flat terrain. There's a city there. There's a red dot there. Flat terrain with weird rocks that I've never seen before. Or on Europe. Flat terrain, weird flat terrain, a couple mountains. Rough terrain, no town, very different rocks. The reflections in this game are weird. Yet, on the other hand, the water reflections are freaking beautiful. The water reflections... Oh, well, my computer was chugging a bit, so I turned down geometry, so I think that kind of screwed up the reflection. But previously, like, I think here that's more mirrory. Like, the water reflections are, you know, pretty accurate. If you see a flock of birds fly over the pond, you'll see the flock of birds. Yet, with these buildings, we have fake town in somewhere after the 1970s. Temporal windows. Yeah, so that's annoying. Anywho, so yeah, here's a train depot. It looks nice and stuff. It's nice here, you know, you can theoretically walk to it and stuff like that. I'll have a sidetrack. I don't have any, like, sadly, Model Citizen hasn't brought his, caboose mods up into Transport Fever 2. And because we don't have those caboose mods, I don't have any, caboose assets, or, you know, cabooses, which is kind of a bummer, because I love the cabooses, because they always made the train look so wonderful. Bring them back, Model Citizen! I know you certainly will not hear me say this because you don't watch these videos, and I don't think anyone else really will, but still, bring back the caboose mods. They were beautiful and I loved them. They brought me great bounties of joy. Yeah, $5,000, probably not well spent, but shut up. Shoosh. I think we're going to put another track right in there. What's up? Let's flatten you and then... There we go. Yeah, I'm spending too much time on this, but shut up. I'm having fun. Okay, brush size, decently small. At the very end, ballast. That looked janky. And then maybe plop another train track in here. Have it end right before the depot. At this end. Now, if I had train assets, this would be the perfect place to put those train assets in. But, sadly, I do not, so... Let's have it as sharp as possible so we have enough room for the whatevers. We can always edit this down the line. Get it? Down the line, because trains. Ah! I'm funny. Laugh. I should pursue a career in stand-up comedy. I'm so funny. Interesting. What if I was bringing out like a tiny smidgen? There we go. Off to the rail yards, and then I can have the station grow this way and have the tracks basically in this flat area split off and go into those. Plenty of room. And also, now that I've completed this Y, I only need one blasted depot for, yeah, running that. So, first we will want the quarry train. Quarry train, I'm going to keep her nice and short. I will keep her nice and short. I'm going to use a consolidation, which I'm pretty sure is based off the C19, which is a narrow gauge engine, but shut up. One consolidation, please. Also, weird bug. There's also this in Transport Fever2. Sometimes the trucks get screwed up. On Big Boy, I'm pretty sure the Big Boy just doesn't have wheels if you look closely. And the gondola is missing its trucks. Don't question it. Okay, do you guys actually care anything new? Same as it used to be. Same as it used to be. Same. Interesting. Well, gondolas. You're just a state. The state cars should be able to do gondola stuff, and the gondolas should be able to do lower amount of state car stuff. But anywho, doop 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 doop. Let's call it 42 capacity. And look at that. Look at this. This train cost half of what building all of that cost. This train costs what it took to build the line from there and the line from to there. How insane is that? There we go. Yeah, look at that. We started out with 10 million. We're down to that. Trains are so freaking expensive. Now, let's set you onto Conmat Delivery. Now, please. That's a monster. I have created a monster. I have created a demon. I can't get any good angles on it. Yeah, that's terrifying. It's terrifying, but I kind of like it. Like a more modernized version of a 440. Give us the whistle. Give us the whistle. Come on, consolidation. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm like 99% sure this is based off of a C19. I can just imagine seeing it right there, just C19. Oh, it's a light. I got very confused on what my head was looking through. And then we have a general. Which honestly, it looks pretty good in black, to be completely honest. This one looks, honestly, this one looks better in like a gray. The black almost is like too glossy in my opinion. So I'd almost want this in like a gray. Yeah, I'm trying to get the deer to not look stupid. Dang, if only you weren't running. Like, that running animation is kind of bothering me. If you, like, take a pause there, just, like, you know, go idle, I would have loved it. But, I don't know. Also, they need to be lowered by, like, a centimeter. Like, they're just it just slightly looks like the deer are, like, hovering. Their Elmer's okay. Oh, this is kind of off topic, but here's a weird thing I noticed about when I was making the map. So previously, when this was on when this was on lower canyon settings, and it like rendered it. Apparently, when I changed the canyon settings, apparently it forgot to move these plants. So these plants still think that the river is here, because previously the river was really wide. Like in this area, it was like super duper wide. And apparently, these plants still think that the river is there. So, you know, you have this where it's the riverside plants. Also, it kind of does that a little bit down here, but not as much. But yeah, it's really noticeable here and like on the other side, which, I don't know, it's kind of weird. Just a weird terrain generation that really don't understand, because it rendered it. It's not like I did this afterwards, like made this cane afterwards. Like this was rendered, it just chose and forgot to render it correctly. Or not render it, but place them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have the train come here, pick up a full load, get to here, come back, whatever this is at, that's what I'm going to set the cars to. Where's the train? There she is. Look at her go. Highballing it. 31 miles per hour. If this thing makes any less than 100,000 when it drops, I'm going to be upset. Sorry, anything less than 300,000, because it's already costing me 200,000. I want this to make money. I really want this to make money. I really, if everything goes the way I want it to, when this thing arrives, it will make 700,000. But I really doubt that I'm going to get that lucky. And you're on your way. Look at her go. Here you go. Love the headlamps too. But yeah, I'm not building a passenger line from here to Port Andrew. You're gonna want. It used to be Port St. Andrew and then changed to Port Andrew. That's weird. I forgot about that. But yeah, it's gonna be Corbin to Santon, then boat to Port Andrew. You know what? No, I'm not gonna add Saint to it because I'm gonna have to change all this stations. I keep saying Port St. Andrew. For the longest time, it was Port St. Andrew, but then I got rid of the Saint. I don't know why. I think I just forgot to add it when I was making it because I had to. I kept screwing this map up and I'd have to like restart it. And I think that's just a relic of. I wanted to call it Port St. Andrew, but then I forgot to add the Saint. I love how like here it's like, yeah, it looks bald, but it's grass. And here she comes. And how much have you lost me? Only 100,000, 200,000. Not terrible. Corbin Freight Terminal. She still keeps her yellow on there and the yellow stripe. Engine 3. I love how it has the rod at the very front here. You can kind of see it. You can kind of see it. See there where the arrow is pointing? It has the rod for the Lincoln pin device. Like if it still had the Lincoln pin. See that the tender clearly has knuckle couplers. Like weirdly tiny knuckle couplers. Okay, so now you're sitting here. Let's actually go in and bump your waiting time up to 2 minutes. Now, where is that? There she is. Hey, beauty. Man, we only have one car empty. This better dump a lot of money for me. Honestly, the smarter thing to do would be put some passing tracks on here and double train it. I can't afford to double train it right now. When this arrives, I will think about adding another train to it. Pop it. Pop it. How much do you make? How much do you make? You make $1 million whenever you arrive. That makes my day. Okay, so plenty of time has passed. It's been a few years in game time. It's been a few hours in real life time. We have some new boats. The Rigis are gone. We've now got the and I already forgot what they're called. They're Denura Castle. Basically, they're the Rigi, but with double the capacity. They go the exact same speed. They cost like 75% more, and they carry 100 people. So I mean, every time they drop, they make like $240,000. So That's pretty good. They drop usually at the same time, and I have them set up to where they're always at a full load, so 240, 240, they'll drop at the same time. That's 400,000. I've let this cook a while. I've added another train. Is this it? Yeah. This is the new construction materials train. So that's got it. Port St. Andrews has grown quite a bit. Port Andrews. It kind of bobbles, but usually it's trying to get to around, it says 520 now, but usually whenever the trains are actually, getting into a good pattern, it usually is trying to get about 540 people. Because Port Andrews has grown, Sanson has grown a little bit. Over here, nothing has really changed. It's just been chipping away. Everything's about to start going crazy. Like, crazy might be like the understatement of a century. Like, things are about to go nuts, and it's going to be beautiful, and it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be awesome, and it's probably going to go horribly wrong, but then we're probably going to fix it. But yep, as you can see, we're now getting into several million. Every time the bills come in, it costs about $1 million. Well, we've got 2, so we are definitely in the green. Let's get you guys something to look at while this is all going off. Let's get you to what I have decided I'm going to affectionately name the Devil's Teardrop, because this thing is terrifying, and if this was real life, you would see all sorts of train crashes in this area and in this area. So yep, this is being affectionately called the Devil's Teardrop. Also, quick note, earlier in the episode, I took 2 cars off of the rock train, and by taking the two cars off, every car that I took off basically gave me an extra mile per hour up this hill. So instead of being like 8 miles per hour, it went up to like 10, 11-ish. Occasionally it would pop up to 12. But yeah, so yeah, I feel this was a very successful episode. I feel like this is the start of some really, really amazing and some really, really scenic stuff. Especially with the whole, Shadow Canyon having rail lines put through it, and just everything going on right now. I feel like we're on the precipice of a lot of fun and a lot of really good stuff. This episode has probably gone on a lot longer than I wanted it to, unless I did some good editing to keep this below an hour. I want to keep this below 40 minutes. Give, props to editor me if I manage to do that, but, I doubt it. Episodes after this, I'm going to try to keep them around 15 minutes, because I'm not a big channel. My videos probably aren't that great, so it's kind of daunting to see a tiny channel that has an hour-long video. You don't want to watch that. You watch like 3 minutes of it and be like, yeah, I don't care anymore. So, I'm going to try to keep these episodes around 10-15 minutes. I only keep it the good stuff, really interesting builds, highlights of stuff, maybe fast-forwarded builds, some speed builds. But, yeah, tell me in the comments what you would like to see more of, if you want me to spend more time on building. Where's this traffic? Oh, there we are. Let me know if you want me to spend more time building, more time just going over builds, how you want me to do it. Maybe give some suggestions if there's like a really obvious way to make all the money in the known universe that I'm just not noticing somewhere outside of Shadow Canyon. But for right now, I feel like Shadow Canyon is going to be our it's going to be our bread and butter, and also our honey. Like, it's going to be our bread, butter, and honey. Just all of that on one amazing toast. And, yeah, my brain is clearly beginning to forget how to form competent sentences, so I'll leave you watching this wonderful little consolidation, basically dip her toes in Shadow Canyon before quickly getting right back out of it to go on and pick up a load of stone. So, yeah, I hope you all had a wonderful day. I hope you really enjoyed this episode. I hope you watched this episode. Like, it would be great to know that people are actually watching through these whole things, especially since they're so long and rambly. And I try to do my best to skip out where I do needless amounts of planning that takes 20 minutes. Let's see, my recording right now says I've been recording for 2 hours and 30 minutes, and I'm gonna try to figure out how to cut that down to 30 minutes, 40 at most. So there's definitely some stuff that I can do better at cutting out, keeping out, some needless rambling, some needless planning. There's lots of needless planning. And needless repeating of what I've already said. So, yeah. I'll let you watch this wonderful consolidation plays while YouTube tries to get you to watch more of my videos. I'm not stopping them. I would love it if more people watch more of my videos. I put a lot of effort into them, even if it doesn't seem like it. I usually put, you know, editing-wise, it's usually about 4 hours of editing. It's not because I'm bad. It's mostly just because I'm also including saving time, and it takes a long time to save because, yeah. I'm gonna stop complaining and just let you watch this this train go and, you know, do train stuff, which is always wonderful. It's got open signals ahead. Looks like we're clear to go on through to the probably up all the way until the mill or the quarries. So I'll just leave it here at this beautiful angle and yeah, let the credits take you. You know, let you enjoy some of Admiral T's wonderful music. And see you next time for episode 3, where we build a passenger line through, interesting, new control, where we, yeah, where we build a passenger line up through Shadow Canyon, and basically make everything explode with population. It's gonna be wonderful. So, yeah, have a good one. See you later.